What's going on YouTube? This is wwjoshdew, and we are making a video on how to install CyanogenMod 11. This is a monthly build. The monthly builds are the most stable. As of today, right now, we're on monthly 12. Those are the most stable builds. Nightlies, they update almost each and every night. You don't necessarily have to update every night, but they release them most nights. So that gets really annoying. I don't install nightlies unless that's my only option. Like on my LG G3, the only option right now is nightlies. So I just, every few nights, I update to the latest one. After that, you'll see the monthly snapshots. Those are the ones I recommend because they are the most stable builds you're going to get before you find a release candidate. So like RC1, RC2, those will be more stable than the monthlies. But we're on monthly 12 now. This has been going on for a long time, so they're actually pretty freaking stable. I don't have any issues, and actually we are on Lollipop. We are on the very latest Android 5 Lollipop update on the M8. This is the Google Play edition, so keep that in mind. Actually, I had CyanogenMod on here, but or not CyanogenMod, but Lollipop. I got sick, absolutely sick of not having the recent apps button. So like when you open an app up and then you hit your recent apps, there's this little button that clears everything away. I got sick of not having that. I got sick of not having my exposed modules. So like my network speed monitor, that's an exposed module. Greenify, that's an exposed module. So here's my modules. I got sick of not having modules. I got sick of not having the reboot options. So I can just simply reboot my tablet or go into recovery. I got sick of rebooting my phone, powering it down, powering it back up, and then after clearing all my apps, powering my phone down and starting it up, all my apps are I can clear them again. I got sick of that. My wife's sick of it. My Nexus 5, I will probably put it on CyanogenMod. I still really like this phone. My Nexus 6, I will keep that on Lollipop because the phone came with it. And I don't think there's an option to put CyanogenMod 11 on the. And besides, I do like Lollipop. I really love Lollipop. I'm constantly finding new features like Bluetooth Smart Lock. I really like Lollipop. I just miss exposed modules. I miss the clear all button. I miss for your recent apps, when you hit the recent apps button, you don't have to swipe each and every last one of them away. And actually had trouble on my Nexus 7 where I'd swipe and I guess I didn't do it slow enough or something and it took a while. So I really like Lollipop, but I really like CyanogenMod. So we're putting CyanogenMod on this today. This is rooted, so all we have to do is simply put the CyanogenMod stuff on an SD card. Instead of getting a SIM card ejector tool and ejecting the micro SD card, I think this one's the SIM and this one's the micro SD. Whichever one's the micro SD, you eject it, you put your own micro SD card in there. I don't like doing that, so I just use this little guy right here. I did a video on this. Basically, it's just a little 32 gig SD card that has some wear and tear on it, but you just transfer files that way. So it's a really good option. I like that a lot. Even if I have an SD card on the phone, I still use it. So what we're gonna do is go to our USB here, and then we're going to copy over some stuff. We're just going to copy over the latest twerp recovery, which is right here, because you need to have that on your, well, I don't know if you have to have it on your internal to use Flashify, but whatever, let's just go ahead and paste it in there. And now we have that on there. We need to download Flashify. I think it's already on her phone. Yes, it is. So Flashify, accept, and then grant it root access. So in the settings here, you can see that we have Dropbox enabled at the moment. So for my backup and restore, you can make a backup of your stock recovery and then upload it to Dropbox. And then you can do the same thing to your kernel. So you can back up your stuff and sync it to the cloud. What we're going to do is go ahead and go to recovery image. And this that has the option to download twerp. I don't know if it even has the latest one. So you could honestly just go ahead and do it that way if you'd like to. But I already downloaded it, so just to save some time, we're going to go to recovery and then choose file. From our internal storage here, we're just going to go to our recovery right here. We're going to do for normal way. It's asking me if I want to flash the recovery. I'm going to go ahead and hit yep. She's so sick of Lollipop, stock Lollipop, that she even stock Kit Kat. You don't have the reboot options. Even on stock Kit Kat, you don't have the clear all button. So with CyanogenMod 12, this will be. By the way, if CyanogenMod 12 comes out, you can install it the same exact way you're installing this. So this video could be used for CyanogenMod 12. And also, if you install, like we're fixing to install CM11 M12, if M13 comes out, just go to download the file to your SD card or this little guy, and then wipe your Dalvik cache and your cache, and then install the ROM. You don't have to wipe your entire phone. So reboot now. You can go ahead and choose that to immediately get to recovery. I'm going to get to recovery manually, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Whenever it powers down all the way, all we're going to simply do is hold down the volume down and the power button. See, I cleared all my apps. I bet you if I turn it on right now, it would show you my running apps. And it does that on my Nexus 6. It does that on my Nexus 5. It even did that on my Nexus 7 2013. But it won't anymore because I have CyanogenMod. So volume down and power. Again, I really like Lollipop. I'm not bashing Lollipop, but stock Lollipop is not that great. Oh, crap. And we have that stinking file on there. So it's going to, we need to delete that because it's going to try to, this is how we updated to Lollipop. And actually, on my second channel, youtube.com/wwjoshdew, links are in the description. I showed you how to do it. So hold volume down and the power button. We need to go ahead and get back into Android, delete that zip, and then go from there. So we're going to go ahead and force it down. It says software status official, unlocked. We do have SOF. SOF is not required to install CyanogenMod, but I definitely recommend SOFing. I used an old method. I made a video on it, but now you have to use a new method where you pay the developer like 20, 25 bucks. I've gotten several people that told me they went ahead and paid it. Their bootloader is now SOF, or their phone is now SOF, and they can, without SOF, you can't make changes to your system partition within Android. So if you want to update your super user binary, you got to do it via twerp. You have to. You have no options. If you want to install exposed framework, you cannot use the classic write to system method. You have to install it via recovery. So it's definitely a pain without SOF. So I definitely recommend SOF. Plus with SOF, we're able to just go from KitKat to Lollipop flashing a zip like in the bootloader that you just saw. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking and get to the part where I delete the file that's causing this. And by the way, if you're someone that comments saying, where do I get this since I have to have it? You don't have to have this. It just makes it easier than popping that getting your SIM card tool, popping that out, putting it in a card reader, putting it in your computer, transferring a file, putting it back in the little holster thing, putting that back in your phone. I find it easier just to use this little guy right here. Now, before you go and wipe your phone, I do recommend making a backup. You can choose to make a backup with Titanium Backup. In fact, I have a video. If you go to the Titanium Backup Play Store, my video will be there and it will show you how to fully use Titanium Backup. So I do recommend making a backup, but at this point, it's so frustrating. She doesn't even want a backup. So we're going to go ahead and delete this file that is on our external SD card right here. So this file right here is making it towards when we get into bootloader, it's trying to flash that thing. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. And then I had to get the root access because of the stupid SD card thing. So again, we'll go ahead and power it down and we'll get back to bootloader. All right, so again, volume down and the power button, and then get us into our HBoot here. And now that zip's not there anymore, so we won't try to find it. And we just need to press power, volume down, get to recovery, press the power button. And from here, also you're gonna wanna make sure that you have the file installed before you go wiping everything. So that's very important. And if you're going from stock to CyanogenMod, definitely wipe your entire phone, definitely. Okay, so if we go to install, we can choose our USB OTG, and here are the files that we have on the SD card right here. Alternatively, if you want to take the time to use your micro SD card, which if you don't have this, definitely use your micro SD. Do not use the internal, because I'm going to wipe the internal. Wiping the internal is purely optional, but I want to go ahead and do it. So let's go ahead and go to USB OTG. All the files are there that we need, so we're going to go back. And then also, if you're on a stock ROM, I do recommend going to your backup here, choosing boot, system, data, and you can choose Android secure, and then you can choose to password protect it. So, and it actually is a good idea, because if you have it on an SD card and someone takes your SD card and puts it in their M8, they could restore your phone on their phone, access your contacts, access your Gmail, your Google Voice. They can access everything. So I do recommend putting a password on there and enable compression to make a smaller file size. And last but not least, you need to choose where you want that backup to go. Never put it on your internal storage unless you do not have a micro SD card. And micro SD cards are 20 bucks for 32 gigs. They're pretty darn cheap. And these little guys are like $10, and then you buy the SD card for it. So definitely choose one of these two options, because I'm going to wipe my internal storage to get the most space possible. So USB OTG, and then you swipe to back up. I'm not backing up, so I just wanted to go ahead and get that out there. Now, for those of you that want the easiest steps possible, all you gotta do is a factory reset. That's all you have to do to get this working. And this right here, format data, is going to do exactly what it says. It's going to wipe your entire phone, your internal storage, everything on your phone is going to be wiped except your micro SD card. So we're going to go ahead and type yes if you are aware that you have a micro SD card in there or a little card reader, because if you put the ROM and if you made your backups on the internal storage, you're going to be losing those backups by typing in yes. So just know what you're doing. And yeah, so it's going to format the data. This is a 32 gig phone. I just want all 32 gigs. I don't want some of the stuff being left over from, Lollipop and stuff like that. So I always like to just start fresh and clean. Anything that's super important, I just move it over to here. It's a very quick process, and I can take this, unplug it, stick it in my Nexus 5, unplug it, stick it in my Nexus 6, unplug it, stick it in my Nexus 7. It's absolutely beautiful. And an important thing is, if you chose to format your data, you're going to also need to reboot into recovery. That way it has your system partitions and everything all updated, and you're not done just yet. That wiped your data, but it didn't wipe your phone, so your ROM and stuff. So we also need to do that. Now, if you don't want to lose everything, you can follow along with this part right here. So, all right, we're going to go to wipe, and then, like I said earlier, the easiest and simplest way is to factory reset. I chose this, which is optional. I'm also going to choose this, which is optional. I'm going to wipe my Dalvik, my cache, my system, my data, and Android secure, and that's it. That's all I'm going to wipe right there. Those options right there. So it's wiped, because my internal storage is already wiped because of the format data, unless you chose not to do that. If you chose not to do that, as long as you don't press internal storage, that ROM should still be in your internal storage if you don't have a micro SD card. Now, I know I repeat myself, but a lot of people comment saying, congratulations, you royally effed up my phone. First of all, you're making these modifications to your device, not me. I'm just walking you through this and trying to explain this the best way and easiest way possible for a beginner. So, already wiped internal storage. You don't have to if you don't want to. And these are the things that you need to wipe, though, to install the ROM properly. So this doesn't take very long. There you go. We're going to go to install, and see, now our internal storage is free. All of our space is there. Nothing's being used up. So we're going to go back to our USB OTG. Again, if you don't have this little guy and you want to use your micro SD card right here, you can do that. So, okay. And this is also important. In this order, you need to download this. You need to do this. These are the KitKat apps that are officially supported by CyanogenMod. These are much more. You get more Google apps, and you get also, with this one, it hasn't been updated in several months. So, and I checked today, this is the latest one you can download today. Obviously, if you're watching this video a month from now, there might be an update. Who knows? But this is the one I actually recommend, because they keep this sucker updated. Look at this. 12.14 was when it was updated last. So you got the very latest app. Also, this one is recommended for KitKat 4.4.3 or 4.4.2. We're on 4.4.4 at the moment. So I definitely recommend downloading G apps, modular, full, and then that. So we're going to install this one first, add more zips. We're going to install the G apps, which is going to give us the Google Play Store and everything. And then last but not least, Super SU. Just because the built-in root and like grant and allow thing is not the best. And some apps like Titanium Backup are going to say, hey, please install Super SU because we are not able to do this properly, blah, blah, blah. So definitely download and install these 3 things and then swipe to install. This won't take long at all. This is actually a very quick process. I can go ahead and just show you that while it's happening. So it doesn't take very long at all. And then the thing I wasn't sure about was this is a GSM phone. This is a SIM card phone. I know they had the Note 3 and the S3 and S4 and stuff like that all where it was unified, so just one build, all the phones. But they did change that on some phones, like for the HLTE, you can't flash that on the Sprint Note 3 anymore. So you had to use the SPR, HLTE SPR. So it is what it is. So now it's almost done here. We're going to go ahead and reboot system. And once it powers blank, like off, I'm going to go ahead and unplug this because I won't need it for the rest of the video. I don't know. Okay, it's just stuck for a second. Now we can unplug it and we're done there. And I'm also going to include something. The install's done. The install's done. Your backups are done. Everything so far is done. Your phone should boot up fine. There's the beautiful CyanogenMod logo. I freaking love CyanogenMod. When CyanogenMod 12 comes out, I will definitely be installing it over CM11 just because it's. I like being on the latest versions of things. I like Lollipop. I just really miss exposed modules. I really miss the clear all button for all of your apps at one time without swiping each and everything away. I don't think I said the reboot option and the wow, I'm forgetting things here. So the reboot option, clear all button, and exposed framework. Those are my 3 things that I didn't have with stock Lollipop that I absolutely have to have. So yeah, it's just saying that makes me want to put CM12 or CM11 M12 on here as well, just because I really like it a lot. I like it a lot. Have CM11 M12 on here and just have the latest 501 on here. So the first boot up will take a while. After that, they shouldn't take as long. So just keep that in mind. And the beautiful thing is when you log into your Wi-Fi or you use your data, you will not have to worry about updating all of your apps right away. Like if you use the stock KitKat, like G apps that CyanogenMod recommends on their wiki. So you won't have to immediately update like 13 freaking apps because the latest G apps we installed already had everything updated. So it's actually very awesome. I definitely enjoy CyanogenMod a lot. Again, you don't have to have this because I've got comments on previous videos where people were like, hey, I don't have that. I can't install the ROM. I'm screwed. No, that's not true. This is just purely optional and just makes things quicker and easier. So welcome to CyanogenMod. Next, it's going to ask us to select our Wi-Fi. So we're going to go ahead and do that. 5 gigahertz. We're going to go ahead and hit the connect button and it should log us into our Wi-Fi just fine here. Another thing about it is you have like the little up and down arrows letting you know there's activity going on. You don't have that with stock Lollipop. They got rid of that. So set up Google account. This is my wife's phone, so I got to go have it logged into her account. All right, you log in, you press OK. If you got your password right, then it should get past this screen. Now, I said this is her phone because she's using it. Right now I'm using my Note 4 on T-Mobile and my Nexus 6 on AT&T, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I like a lot of features about like the S Pen and screenshots and marking on information, and I like having a huge screen with pure stock Android, not taking up tons of resources while your phone's running. So I wasn't using this anymore, and she was like, hey, let me try the phone out, and she really likes this phone. This was my favorite phone until I got the Note 4 and the Nexus 6, and this was my favorite phone. It's definitely still a very good phone, but I'm going to let it restore all of her stuff from her Google account and then uncheck for improved accuracy. Some apps are going to tell you to do that anyway. And also I don't want her to have extra emails from Google. So it's going to restore her account and it's going to all the Wi-Fi access logins you've done, your apps. Most of the time it won't restore the app data. That's why you'll want to have made an Android backup and Titanium backup. And also what you want Titanium backup to put those backups on your external SD card. So existing, and then we're going to log into CyanogenMod. If you don't have a CyanogenMod account, if you don't want to create one, you can hit skip. But there are some benefits of having a CyanogenMod account. So I'm going to go ahead and log into that. All right, so I logged in and it's like access my location, GPS, Yes. Also your time zone, Central. We are in Kansas City, Missouri. And finish. Saying Google Now Launcher, always, definitely. And then okay. And here we are. We are back on stock KitKat, which is very nice. I'm going to go ahead and bring the brightness down a little bit. And just, oh, that's a little too much. So we'll bring it up right there. That's good. That's all right. So some things just real quick. When you bring down this side, right here, you're going to get to your quick toggles. When you bring down here, you're going to get to your notifications. Vice versa, you can just switch between them. But I'm going to show you how to disable that. So from here, you go to your notification drawer. You go to quick settings, quick pull down, and then off. Now when you bring down the right side, notifications. Bring down the left side, notifications. I like that because a lot of times I bring my phone down like this, and I don't want my quick toggles there, I want my notifications. If I want my quick toggles, I just press this to switch over to it, or you bring down with 2 fingers. Not that hard to remember that. It's been that way for a very long time now. 2 fingers, I messed that up. 2 fingers brings down your quick toggles, 1 finger brings down your notifications. That's the way I like it. So in here, we're going to go to our status bar, and we're going to choose to have a little percentage in there. So now we have a little thing that says, hey, we have 83%, which is nice because before she had battery widget reborn telling her thing right there. Now you don't have to have it because it's built into the ROM, which is very nice. Show your notification count. So if you have Gmail and you have 13 emails, there'll be a little number that says 13 in there. And brightness control is where you bring this down and you slide it to turn it up and down. I don't always get it right. There we go. I can see it turning down, and now it's turning up. So that does work, but I just prefer to do it this way to get a more accurate thing. You still have double tap. So if you double tap on the status bar, it turns the phone off, and you can double tap to wake it up. There we go. Now, if you're someone that doesn't like the double tap features, like I know that she does not like that, I really like it because I get so used to double tapping my phone to turn them on, which is not available with Lollipop, which is another reason I might install CyanogenMod back on here. So I like to choose 5 minutes so my screen doesn't turn off fast. I'm the type of person that usually just powers my phone, presses the power button to go ahead and turn it off. So under display, here's the double tap. So double tap to sleep, double tap to wake, wake on plug. Basically, when you plug it in to charge it, your screen will turn on. You can disable that if you'd like to. It's purely optional if you disable those. I like those features, but I know that she doesn't, so I'm going to go ahead and disable them right now for her. All right, we're going to go back here. We're going to play with everything else. Under security, if you want to install apps like game hackers and stuff like that to modify your games and change your score and your money and stuff, you're going to need to go down to uncheck verify apps. That's going to get kind of annoying, and then unknown sources and hit OK. Again, that's purely optional. You don't have to do that. It's up to you. And then also go down to about phone, and then go to your build number and tap on that right here. Now I'm a developer. There's an extra option when I go back. All right, so basically without that enabled, if you hit reboot, you just have the option to reboot. So if you're giving the phone to a little kid, maybe that's a good idea. But if you're an adult and you know what you're doing, hit advanced reboot. Now when you hit this, you're going to be able to choose recovery to flash updates to Super SU or your ROM or something. Or you can go to your bootloader, or you can do a soft reboot where it just kills the phone like a kill switch and starts it back up, and it's quicker than doing a full reboot. Also, since we installed Super SU, we need to go ahead and choose disabled for root access. Please do not think you're disabling root. You are not if you flashed the Super SU. So Android debugging, okay. I uncheck this so I don't get a little notification in my bar saying, hey, you have ADB on. I know I do. I have it plugged in. And then also under here, you can change this to 0.5 to make things feel a little bit snappier and quicker. So let's go ahead and do that. Another neat thing about CyanogenMod, which isn't on stock, is the kill back button. Basically, when you hold down the back button for 2 to 3 seconds, it'll kill whatever app you're on instantly. It's actually a cool option, but sometimes I find myself hitting back so much that it thinks I long pressed it. So optionally, you can choose art from here if you are used to art. I don't mind Dalvik. With CyanogenMod, the phone reboots and does everything very fast. So I just keep it on Dalvik. Plus, you know, Dalvik is more stable than art as far as I'm aware. It's been around longer and it works really good. And that's about it with all the extra settings in here that you can play with and do things with. So now I can go ahead and just clear all my apps with one little button press there. Always choose Google Now Launcher. Oh yeah, also I forgot. So let's show you the Super SU. Open that up right here. And then when you first open it up, it's going to say, hey, do you want to install a backup script? Hit OK. And now if you install the like CM11 M13, it'll be fine. You won't lose root because you'll have it right here. And I paid for the pro version on my Google account and her Google account. It's totally freaking worth it. Uncheck reauthentication. You don't need it. Normally, I would say if you're on a Samsung or stock Android, check the survival mode where it'll try to keep root even if you accept an update. But you don't have to do that because you have CyanogenMod. Also, Titanium Backup's going to ask you to uncheck mount name separation. So go ahead and do that. And sometimes, like right now, even though we hit OK when it first launched, this option's still available. So now it's going to install it. You'll know it worked because the option will be grayed out. So it won't work anymore. And this is where it says respect seam root settings. We chose disabled. Unless this is checked, like right now, nothing root will work because we chose to disable root. With that unchecked, root will work fine. I can go ahead and show you that if she has any root apps available at the moment. Like Titanium Backup. Yay, it's already installed. Okay, so grant it root access. See? Grant. Right there. And we're granting it root access. And under, since we have all of our backups, so I moved them to the micro SD card, we're going to go to Menu, Preferences, Backup Folder Location, Detect, Whole Device, and boom, look at that, 137 backups from when we did it a while back. So now we use current folder, go back, and when Titanium Backup relaunches, if it doesn't, just go ahead. Okay, there we go. We do have the pro version. We're just waiting on the license or the app to install. But there you can see SD card 1, Titanium Backup. All backups are on the external SD card that's right here, not on the internal storage. And as you can see, we have all of our internal storage available to us since we did a full wipe. If you didn't do the full format data, then you're going to have, stuff being used from your previous ROM. So definitely recommend doing the format data option and just having a backup of everything. That's about it. If this video helped you install CyanogenMod on your HTC One M8, please give this video a thumbs up. We were using the Google Play Edition, but this should work on any variant of the HTC One M8. All versions but the Verizon version can be HTC Dev Unlocked without S off, and it should work fine. If you have the Verizon version, you do need to be S off to do this. So this is a universal method for any carrier. And just to show you real quick that we are on the very latest version of KitKat, there you go. You can see it right there. And if we go to the CyanogenMod version, you're going to see, oh, they changed it a little bit. At least as I think they did. So let's go ahead and get a little thumbnail for the video. It doesn't look like our screen's rotating, so I probably need to change that real quick. So under display, auto rotation, is that enabled or disabled? Oh, it is enabled. And also you can choose 180 degrees and flip your phone upside down. I don't know why it's not working right now, but I don't really like that because if it's real dark and you're like the Nexus 6, it's the same on both sides. No, this one's thinner, so I'll constantly grab it like this and I'll go, oh, okay, just flip it around. So I don't really like it going completely upside down. I rebooted and now it's working for the rotation. So I don't know why that hiccuped there and wasn't working very well. And then right here, you just hold this down and you get to the other little settings and stuff here. Not settings, but the extra little, what you call it? The Easter egg. Wow, why was that so freaking hard? So we have a quick toggle right there to go ahead and, oh, that's another thing about these quick toggles is for like brightness. You saw me change that a few times. If you go to like Wi-Fi here, you need to long press on it to get to your settings for your Wi-Fi. And you can see like your local IP address just on your network, not your outside IP address, the link speed to your router, and etc. And vice versa, you can do that with your Bluetooth, for example. Go to your Bluetooth. And then you have a nice little torch option to turn your light on. So you don't need to install a third-party app to get the torch from that. And then you can long press on this to get to your GPS settings. So you can change all this stuff if you'd like to. I'm not making this video any longer. Again, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please hit that red subscribe button if you have not done so already. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I constantly tweet, hey, this video is coming out next. I'm editing this video. I'm recording this video. Hey, this phone's coming tomorrow. Hey, I'm on Xbox Live right now. You know, do you want to play some Destiny with me? Hey, I'm on PlayStation 4 right now. Do you want to play some Destiny with me? My Twitter bio shows that information about my Xbox One and PlayStation names. So yeah, follow me, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe. This is what would Josh do, and I'm out.